Hi, this is Ronnie Goforth, and today I'm going to summarize chapters 6 and 7 of Zinsser's On Writing Well. In chapter 6, it's titled Words, and he goes on to talk to us about the mixture of cheap words, made-up words, and cliches, and that it takes all the freshness out of writing, and we shouldn't do it. He talks to us about making sure that we are finicky about our word choices, that we choose them well, and if we're not sure if it's the right word to use, to make sure that we use resources like a dictionary, thesaurus, a dictionary of synonyms. He also tells us that we should be listening to the words that together, listening to the sound of the words together, that there should be a rhythmic approach to writing, that the words should flow, that it should be poetic, so that they fit well. He suggests that we read our work out loud before we turn it in, because you can hear things in whether you have the right rhythm moving through your words when you read it out loud. And he says that words are the only tools of a writer, and that's why he says that we should really use them with care and consideration. And to remember that if you're writing something, someone is listening. So in chapter 7, it's on usage, and he talks about usage as being the gray area, and that he gives an example of the word freak and how it's descriptive and it means enthusiast. He doesn't consider it to be slang, so he doesn't put quotes around it. He asked the question, why is one word good and another cheap? He said that there isn't a really clear answer, because usage doesn't have fixed boundaries. He talks about language as being the fabric, as being a fabric, and it's always changing. So he had an experience as on a usage panel for the American Heritage Dictionary, and it's where they determined what words would go out of the dictionary and which ones would be added. And he spoke of the fact that there's words that are spoken language, which is oral. There might be a word that's not allowed in writing, but it could be an oral idiom, and that it's too informal for print. So there are words that are left in the dictionary that you may not write, but you would speak them. And then we just come back to the same thing of what is good usage. He tells us to separate usage from jargon. Usage is like a word like bottom line. It conveys an image we can actually picture. We can see the image. And a word like prioritize is jargon, because doesn't bring the reader any kind of a visual picture of what that could be. So he considers that a jargon word. And that's what I've got. I'm going to share with you my important location or place, and that is Hawaii, Lapuahoi, Hawaii. And it's the place that my parents were born and raised, and it brings back a lot of feelings and memories for me. Some of the feelings that are associated with how I feel when I'm in Hawaii. And when I'm looking out at the ocean, it gives me a sense of calmness, and I feel peaceful inside. So it's something that really allows me to go inside and quiet down some of the things that are going on in my mind or my life at any given time. Whether I'm thinking about the location or I'm actually standing there, I can have the same experience. Another thing that happens quite a bit in Lapuahoi, and it's happened for my family, is it's a place for gathering. families come together and they fish and they eat and they sing and they play their ukuleles and their guitars and they just enjoy each other's company. And that's something that I have always been lucky enough to be a part of. I've had a family that is large and we've always gathered together. It's something that's important to us. And so when I think of that location, I think of a gathering of minds and spirits and it being a joyful time and something that you can walk away feeling the experience was something deep inside of you, not just some superficial thing. Like, oh, for those who shop, okay, maybe that's not superficial for you, but for me that would be superficial. So let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up was that this location in Hawaii does remind me of New Mexico. The water down at Lapuahoi is a turquoise blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. And when I think about that, I think about some of the beautiful bracelets and necklaces and earrings here in New Mexico, the turquoise, items that maybe your mother owns or an aunt, and it's something that you've looked at and just thought it was so beautiful. So that's something that I compare to Hawaii. And New Mexico has the greatest skies ever, and so does Hawaii. And days that the sky is just filled with beautiful, beautiful clouds, I get the whole sense of what it's like to be back in Hawaii too. So that's my special place.